Okay, here's your fabric. You've got your 16 inches wide going from side to side, so that's the raw edges on each side. Your fold is down here at the bottom. Your fabric is folded in half with the selvages at the top. Now you have the right sides together. This is my wrong side. It's hard to tell because it's white fabric, but inside, sorry, it's your selvage and your right sides lined up at the top. Okay? With right sides together, you're going to start at one side all the way at the top. You always start with your needle down, your presser foot down, and you hold on to the little tails coming off the back of your machine so that when you start, you don't get a little bird's nest scramble on the back side. You're going to sew all the way down. On the other side, and you'll want to probably mark this before you start, you want to measure down a ½ inch and make a mark, skip an inch, and make another mark there. So you're going to start sewing here, and you're going to sew this ½ inch. But what you want to do is sew down to here, make a couple of back stitches, and then sew back to this point. Trim your threads, or just let the threads string over to this point, and pick your stitching up back here. Sew it down a few stitches to lock it in, go back up, to reverse it to lock them, and then sew all the way down this side. Then, when you're finished, now I have a seam line going across the bottom because I'm just kind of making a miniature bag. This will be a fold right here on your fabric. So on each side, where your bag is flat, only this is going to be a fold, you need to pull this in. If you'll finger press where your fold is across the bottom, finger press it up to this corner. You're going to take each side and pull it and make your fold line up with your bottom seam, your side seam. So that's the fold in your bag, and it lines up with your side seam, and it makes this triangle point. You want to mash that out all flat, and you want to measure down 2 inches from that stitching line where the stitch runs off the bag. You want to go 2 inches from there, straight down your fold, and make a mark across there. See how I've marked it? And you will want to put a pin or two in there just to help keep it straight, because on the back side sometimes it's hard to keep it lined up. So there's my side seam right there. This will be your fold, not a seam. There's my 2-inch line, and I'm going to sew right on that line, and I'm going to do that on the other side as well. That's what's going to make the corner, your bag, have a bottom as opposed to just loose corners. You can omit this, but it just gives a little shape to your bag. Then, when you finish that, you're going to fold this down on that bottom 1-inch mark right here. You're going to fold your bag across, and this place that you haven't sewn, well, before you fold it down, if I were you, this piece that you haven't sewn, how you can kind of flip back the seam allowance, I would do a stitch, and I probably would make it easy, and I would start back up here at my selvage, and I would sew right down there, and then I would just stop just maybe a ½ inch past my opening, and then I would do a back stitch or two, and what you've done then, and then do that on this other side, and what you've done is gotten those raw edges kind of out of the way, and it'll just be a more finished bag. Your opening will look more like that on each side. But remember, you only did this 1-inch opening on one side of the bag, not both. So then you come and you turn the bag down. Still, you know, don't unfold it yet. I came unstitched, but pretend like that's stitched. Fold this down. I wouldn't go right where the stitching stops. I would give myself a little more room. Actually, I guess I would do where the stitching stops. Fold it down like that. That makes the opening in your bag right here. Do that all the way across your whole bag. This side is flipped too. Then you're just going to take that, put it on your machine, and sew it. Sorry. Then you'll just sew right there at that, sorry the light's in the way, but sew right there along the selvage all the way around your bag. That'll be now the right side of your bag is, you know, folded up in here. All the way around your bag. Turn your bag right side out. It'll all be finished over, and then you just run your cording through the opening, pull it out on the side, tie the ends in a knot, and you've got your little drawstring bag.